Hello everyone, how are you? I hope that you are all doing great. So now it's time for lecture 10, week 13 in semester 1. Okay, are you ready? In this lecture we're going to cover phonics and comprehension vocabulary, okay? Objectives for this lecture, what we are going to cover or what are you going to be able to do at the end of this lecture. In the phonics you'll be able to read and spell words with long I. In vocabulary you'll get introduced to the new words advantage, capabilities, accelerate, friction, identity, inquiry, gravity, and thrilling. In the reading, we're going to cover the story The Big Race, pages 64 to 67 in your reading writing workshop book. And the genre will be this time narrative non-fiction. Pages covered in the book, in the phonics book, we're going to cover in this lecture page 22. And you're going to have an assignment to solve pages 19, 20, 21 in the phonics book, and you have to solve the worksheet that includes the questions related to comprehension, vocabulary, and a question related to phonics. Let's start with the long I sound. As you see here, we have different spelling patterns to have the long I sound. Let's start first with the spelling pattern I, then consonant. When we have a space here, we mean a consonant letter, then the silent E at the end, like pride, pride, kite, kite, twice, twice. So you see the silent E at the end of the word gives the letter I the long sound. Drive, drive, prime, prime, slice, slice, wipe, wipe, and file, file. Okay, the second pattern is when I have IGH, silent GH. Okay, like height, height, slight, slight, sigh, sigh. You see the IGH, the I takes the long I sound and the GH is silent, so sigh. And the last one, fright, fright. The third spelling pattern is when I have I at the end, the letter Y stands alone at the end of the word, like shy, sly, pry, and spy. The fourth pattern is the spelling pattern IE. Some words that have IE take the long I sound, like pies, pie, die. And the last pattern when I have the vowel letter I that stands alone, but after the letter the vowel letter I have a blending consonant. So climb, as I said, or I have mentioned it before, that when I have a blending sound or a blending consonant after a vowel letter, the blending gives the vowel letter the long sound. So here I have climb, minding, mind, minding. Okay, now let's discuss the meanings of the words pride. Pride. If you see the picture, it shows that I love myself. Yes, so pride is when I'm feeling proud or satisfied on myself. So I'm proud of myself. I have a pride. The second one, kite. Kite, you know, we all know kites. It's like a toy or paper toy that we fly it in the sky. Twice, the third word. Twice means two. When we say twice, we mean two. Okay, now we move to the word drive. Drive, you know what drive? When someone drives a car or a bus, okay? Prime, when we say prime, we mean it's very, very, very important. It's of first importance. It's main, something very important. And the slice, when we say a slice, we mean a piece. Slice means a piece. Give me a slice of your cake. Give me a slice of pizza, for example. Okay? So slice means a piece. Okay, now we move to wipe. Wipe. You see the boy is wiping away or is removing the dust away from or over the surface of the table. So wipe, we mean to remove. Okay, file. You see this plastic material, it can be folded and we put papers in it, so we call it file. And you all use your files to put your sheets in them. Now we continue with height. Height, it's when you want to measure how something is tall, how much something is tall, we say we're measuring the height. Slight, it's raining slightly here, it's a slight rain, we mean a little. Okay, little. Sigh is when you breathe in this way. Okay, you're feeling tired or you were thinking of something and you feel sad, so you sigh. Fright, how does the man look here? The man looks frightened. Yes, so fright. He is fearing something, okay? He's afraid of something. Okay, we continue with shy. If you look at the minion here, he looks shy. Okay, he's a little bit like we can say afraid, but in a good way. Or sometimes you're shy of something bad that you did. Sly, for example, we say a sly dog. He is not trustful. Pay attention. He's cunning and devious. Okay, he is dishonest. We cannot trust someone who is a sly. Okay, pry now. Let's see, for example, we have a box and we're not supposed to look for what is in the box, inside the box, but because we are curious, we want to have a look. Okay, so we pry here. Spy is when there's someone, maybe a man or a woman, who is secret, no one knows him, and he spies over something to get the news and take this news to someone else. Pies, the pie, you see, the pie is the sweet that we eat, okay? And die is the opposite of alive or to live, to die, okay? Climb, you climb something, it's clear. And mind is to think a lot. Okay, now let's practice a little bit the phonics word that we have covered till now. Write the spelling word that is the antonym. When we say antonym, we mean the opposite of each word below. Here I have number 1, fearlessness. Fearlessness, someone who is not afraid of anything. Significant, we mean a lot. Secondary, which is not very important. Live, and bold, someone who's not afraid of anything. Okay, so the first one, fearlessness, when there is no fear at all. The opposite of it, you have to fear something, so is fright. So the opposite of fearlessness is fright. Significant, we mean many, a lot. So the opposite of many or a lot, the opposite of significant here is slight. Okay, secondary is something that is not important. The opposite of secondary is prime. Prime means very important. Live, to be alive, is the opposite of die. And bold is the opposite of shy. Continue with the practicing. Write the spelling word that matches each definition below. We have to continue with the other words here. They are on the right. File, kite, sigh, pry, pride, climb, spy, twice, sly, minding, pies, slice, height, wipe, and drive. The first one, toy that flies. What is the toy that flies? Kite. To force open. Okay, what is to force open? To open something with a force, pry. Okay, or to look at something that you're not supposed to look at it. Okay. 8, to go upward. To go upward is to climb, to move upward. 2 times we mean twice. To watch secretly. To watch secretly without letting anyone know about you is spy. Self-respect, when you respect yourself and you love yourself, is pride. A release of breath. This is what, especially when you're sad, we agreed it is. Sigh. A folder of records, a folder. Okay, and we put records, we mean like sheets in it. It is a file. Attending to something, you attend to it. You mind, you think about it. Okay. Fruit and pastry desserts. It is the pies. How tall something is. Height. Clever or cunning, devious. Okay. It is sly. A piece that is cut. A piece that is cut is what? It's a slice. Piece. We mean a slice. To dry or to clean something. Wipe. And the last one, to control a car. What do? We drive. Excellent. Okay, now it's time to move to the vocabulary words. The first word is accelerate. Accelerate, when we say accelerate, we mean to move faster. Move faster. I saw the race car accelerate or speed up across the finish line. You see, speed up we mean the same as accelerate. Speed up, accelerate, they both mean move faster. Advantage. An advantage is something that is helpful or useful, beneficial, okay? Something good that happens to you. The father's size gave him a big advantage over his son. So what made the father win over his son is his big size. So his big size was an advantage to the father. It was a helpful thing. Capabilities. To have capabilities means to have the needed skills, powers, or abilities. You have the capability, then you are able to do something. You have the power to do something. The capabilities of a potter include strength and creativity. Friction. Friction is a force between two surfaces that slows objects or stops them from moving. So when we say friction, we mean there is a force between two objects that makes something moving stops. The friction between the tires and the pavement slows down the airplane. Gravity. Gravity is a force that pulls objects toward each other. Gravity is a force that pulls objects toward each other. Gravity helps pull the batter down into the baking pan. Identity. An identity is who a person is or what a thing is. Okay, so when we say identity, we mean who a person is or what this thing is. The woman showed her passport to prove her identity, to show who she is. Inquiry. An inquiry is a search for information. Inquiry, when you're searching for information. Reporters ask questions at the beginning of any inquiry or investigation. And the last word, the thrilling. To be thrilling means to be exciting. Thrilling means exciting. Going on a roller coaster can be exciting and thrilling. Okay, now let's practice a little bit. Let's choose the correct word to complete each sentence. The roller coaster was the most exciting ride of the day. So what do we say? We say the friction roller coaster, the thrilling roller coaster, the accelerate roller coaster, or the advantage roller coaster. If you notice here, okay, in the sentence we use the most exciting ride. So what do we say? We call the roller coaster, we describe it as the thrilling roller coaster. He showed the police his driver's license to prove his driver's license. So the license proves what? Proves the height of a person, or the identity, or the inquiry, or the gravity? So the driver's license proves the identity. The driver and passed the slower cars. The driver accelerated, gravity, inquiry, or capabilities to pass the slower cars? No, the driver accelerated. He moved faster. A ball falls down to the ground because of, it falls down, so there's something pulling it toward the ground. Because of advantage, of thrilling, because of friction, or because of a gravity? Because of a gravity, because gravity is the force that pulls objects toward each other. The investigators made an or search for information. So the investigators are asking about something, so they need information. So what do? They accelerate, they make an inquiry, advantage, or capabilities? The investigators made an inquiry. The player's speed was an that led to his victory. So the player's speed was what to lead to his victory? He won at the end. It was an identity, advantage, thrilling, or friction? It was an advantage. The brakes use, why do we use the brakes? Identity, friction, accelerate, or gravity to stop the bicycle. What do brakes use to stop something? The car or the bicycle? The brakes use friction. Our math team has to win the contest. So our math team has what? Has the accelerate, has the capabilities, have the thrilling, or have the identity? Our math team has the capabilities, has the skills, has the powers to win the contest. Okay guys, now it's time to start with our theme opener, and our theme opener will be this time about how science helps us to understand how things work. Let's see how science helps us to know how things work.
Cars down the track and helps the cars to accelerate through the loop.
Ideas in motion.
Inertia is one of the forces that keeps you pushed to the wall of the rotor ride and swinging at an angle high above the crowds. Now you know the science behind what makes these rides thrilling.
Gravity pulls the roller coaster cars down the track and helps the cars to accelerate through the loop. Inertia is one of the forces that keeps you pushed to the wall of the rotor ride and swinging at an angle high above the crowds. Now you know the science behind what makes these rides thrilling.
Okay guys, I hope now that you had an idea how science helps us understand how things work in life, and when we read the text you're going to have a clearer idea about the theme. But first of all, the genre. What about the genre this time? This time we're going to have a different genre. We're going to have narrative non-fiction. Narrative means a story. Non-fiction means real. A narrative is a story that gives us real information. Okay? So whenever we say narrative, we mean a story, but when we say non-fiction, we mean it gives us real information. So, what do we have in the narrative non-fiction? We have place, time, and characters. For sure, we have place, time, and characters since it's narrative. And we have headings and speech balloons, maybe. So what does the narrative non-fiction tell us? Okay, it tells a story, it includes facts and examples, and it includes text features, okay? So when we say narrative non-fiction, again I repeat, we mean there is a story that includes real information, it includes facts. So it tells a story, it includes facts and examples, and it includes text features. Now, let's start with our story, The Big Race. I'm Clara, welcome. Alex and Liam planned to build a car for the soapbox derby. As a result of their inquiry into how to build a fast car, they had come to the Science Museum today for answers. Last week, Alex's mother had called one of the museum's scientists. When they walked into the museum, a woman in a lab coat and inline skates zoomed up and greeted them. "Hi, I'm Clara. Are you the boys who want to know what will make a car go fast?" "Yes, I'm Alex, and that's Liam," Alex responded. "Why are you wearing inline skates, Clara?" Liam asked. "I'm a champion skater," Clara claimed, doing a spin. Then she whispered, "That's not my true identity. I'm a scientist. Skates make it easier to get around. Follow me." A gravity racer or soapbox is a motorless vehicle which is raced on a downhill road either against the clock or against another competitor. And the question that you must think about is, why are Alex and Liam at the Science Museum? I'm going to keep this question for you to answer it during the live session. It's about speed. "Welcome to our On the Move exhibit," Clara announced as they entered a large room. "So, tell me about the race." "There will be 20 cars in the race. We'll be going down the steepest hill in town," Alex said. "Sounds thrilling. It must be exciting to go fast," Clara answered as she pressed buttons on a machine. This is a virtual race car, and the screen shows you the virtual race course and your speed. Speed is the distance an object moves in a certain amount of time. How does this heading relate to the section of the text beneath it? The heading here, like the subtitle, it's about speed. How does it link, or how can we relate this heading to the paragraph? Think about it. Forces at work. A force is a push or pull. Alex and Liam climbed into the machine. Each seat had a steering wheel and a screen in front of it. Clara said, "Since you want to build a fast car, you need to know about forces and how they affect motion." "What's a force?" asked Liam. Clara continued, "A force is a push or pull. Forces cause things to move or cause a change in motion. Motion will mean movement. When I apply a big enough force on an object, like this stool, it moves. If two objects are exactly the same, the object that receives a bigger force will accelerate or increase its speed." Clara said, pushing two stools at the same time. "Which stool received a bigger force?" Clara asked. "The one on the right. It went farther," said Liam. "So, giving our car a big push at the top of the hill will cause it to accelerate and go faster," Alex summarized. How will the push force help Liam and Alex? Think of the question. Gravity and friction. Clara smiled. "Right, another force acting on your car is gravity. Gravity is a pulling force between two objects." Clara took a tennis ball out of her pocket. "When I drop this ball, the gravity pulls it towards the floor. It's the same force that pulls your car down the hill. So, a big push gives us an advantage over other cars, and the gravity will keep us going. How do we stop?" Liam asked. "You'll need friction. Friction is a force between two surfaces that slows objects down or stops them from moving. For example, I lean back on my skates, and the friction between the rubber stoppers and the floor slows me down," said Clara. "Thanks, Clara. The virtual race car was cool. I knew we had the skills and capabilities to win the race, but now we have science on our side too." Liam grinned. How will the gravity force help Liam and Alex? And what force will help them stop the car? Okay guys, I hope that now everything is clear for you. Now it's time to go and solve the worksheet. If you still have any questions, you can write them on a draft paper and wait till tomorrow to ask me during the live session. And don't forget about the questions that you have listened to here while reading the story. Okay? Thank you. Stay safe and bye-bye.